Good evening, vinyl community. North Carolina Vinyl Picker. It's Tuesday night, and it's time for the show, but actually it's Wednesday. I was busy yesterday, so I didn't have time to get the show done properly and get it up before I went to bed. Takes me a while here. I got very poor internet here. So it takes a long time to download. So anyway, so then I went out for the last couple days and did some picking, and I went to a Goodwill, and I went to a antique store, and I got something in the mail, and yeah, I got something else from another store too. I'm trying to think what it was. Oh, it was a local thrift store. So let's go ahead and run through these. I hope everybody out there is doing well this evening. Um, Getting a little bit past the holidays, so weather here is starting to get pretty cool. Got these here at a thrift store and antique mall type place. And well, I think I had this back in the day or not. I had most of Cat Stevens' albums back in the day. But when I got to looking at this, after I think it was $5, I noticed it was the Japanese press, but the Obi's not on here. So then I looked at it and I took it out. And it's pretty cool looking, and it's like mint. So I'm gonna have to give this a listen. And the one thing that's neat about this album is Peter Gabriel's on this album, and this album is from what 1970. So yeah, that's like way back there. That's like the time that he did Trespass. So this album, it's credited with Peter Gabriel playing the flute. Yep, pretty cool. But I already knew that when I saw this here. I automatically knew I wanted it. One for Cat Stevens, and one that it had a connection with Peter Gabriel. This is another album that I didn't have, and this is a very inexpensive record. Oh, by the way, that Cat Stevens album, I looked it up. It's worth like $100. I paid like $5 for it. This Steve Winwood is it's a nice album, and this is Roll With It, and he had a couple of hits off of this one. This was Long After Traffic and Blind Faith, and this is definitely got that '80s sound, but it's a good overall album, and I like anything Steve Winwood has done. So it's just another album to fill my collection of Steve Winwood albums. Then I found they had a couple of Johnny Cash records there. This one here this is Johnny Cash, and it has the Long Black Veil and a couple other of his big time hits. 9 Pound Hammer, I Still Miss Someone. Very nice album, and they're really nice shape. All of these. Every time I go to that place, the records are really nice. June Carter and Johnny Cash together. He's already been in the plastic. I've already listened to these and put the Ballad of Ira Hayes, Orange Blossom Special. It's got Jackson. It's got all their hits that they did together, plus some of Johnny's songs she sings with him. So that was pretty cool. I got those 4. And then I got this in the mail just the other day. This is one of my Marillion albums that I didn't have, that I used to have back in the day. This is Fugazi. This is their second album. And it's also a gold stamp promo. And I found this on eBay for really cheap, and it's not an easy one to find, this album here. Their first few albums with Fish, those albums are extremely hard to find U.S. pressings. You can find them for UK pressings, but to find a U.S. pressing, it's not that easy. So I got that in the mail. If anybody wants to know anything about early Marillion, just give me a shout out and I'll tell you all about them. Because I was really into them, and I seen them live. I seen them live twice. Saw them on the Script for the Jester's Tear tour, Then I saw him on this. I saw him on the Fugazi tour at Radio City. They opened up for Rush. Then I went to GW, and I found another copy of Tori Amos, Boys from Pele. This is her third album. Excellent. I think I got about 5 copies of it now. Every time I find one for $1, I pick it up. And I check to make sure it's in really good condition. I seen Tori Amos on her very first album, Little Earthquakes. I saw it 3 nights. And I got an autographed picture and met her and everything backstage. And then I've never seen her after that, but I've always really enjoyed her music. And then I got a David Sanborn CD. I like jazz and I like David Sanborn. I have quite a few of his CDs. And I think I might even have a couple of his albums. And I seen this one there. I'm not a huge Charlie Daniels fan, but I picked it up. This is a newly digital remaster of his greatest hits on one CD. And yeah, I'll give it a spin. I like country rock. I like Marshall Tucker and Skinner and stuff. And CDB, I like him too. And this was a really good find. Michael Hedges. For you people out there who love New Age music, Michael Hedges died young in California. They were just talking about him the other day on the BC. And this album here I didn't have. Actually, I didn't even know about it. It came out in '94. This is a Windham Hill. And I got this for $1. But I looked it up. It's quite expensive. And the CD is really nice shape. New Age. Usually when you see New Age CDs in a Goodwill or Habitat or one of those places, and you get them for $1, make sure you check them. Make sure that they're good. Don't bring them home and then they're all scratched up and full of dirt and everything. Just leave them at the store. I think I mentioned that the last time we talked. I also, at that same Goodwill, I found a Neil Young 45. It's Only Love Can Break Your Heart. This is from after the Gold Rush. These were all nice. Found that one. I found Nights in White Satin at the thrift store. These were all $1. I love the Moody Blues. I didn't have this one. Or I think I used to have it. Edgar Winter Group, Free Ride. Seen them live. They opened up for Bad Company, the original Bad Company, back when Paul Rogers rejoined them. And me and my wife seen them in Florida. Was at the House of Blues, or the Hard Rock. It was at one of those. I think it was a Hard Rock. And we saw them there. And Edgar Winter came on and did Free Ride, and they did Frankenstein, and Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, and Rick Derringer was up there on stage. And someone told me that Derringer and Edgar Winter lived down there in Florida, probably over on the West Coast. But this was in Orlando. We saw them. That was really cool. That was a great show. And then I found a couple of albums there. I don't know who Andy Bowen is. The album's called Sweet William. But it was from the early 70s. So I picked it up for $1. And I figure I'd give it a listen. And I didn't recognize any. 73. Leslie Duncan is on here. Oh, okay. So there is somebody I know on here. So that's pretty cool. I'll give that a listen. And then there was another album. I'll have to go ahead and get that for you. Then I seen this there. I looked. Their CDs are right by where their VHS tapes are. And then I saw this. I looked at it and I said, Beta? I haven't seen a Beta tape. And I can't remember when. I'm sure there's some people out there that know what Beta is. But I never owned a Beta machine. The tapes were smaller. And I believe Beta came out before VHS. And I remember when I went into service, there were some people on the ship that had a Beta machine. and a bunch of tapes and stuff. And it was pretty popular. But then the VHS took over, and then after that it was DVDs and Blu-rays. But yeah, so I seen this, and for 50 cents, I picked it up. Return to Snowy River. I picked it up just to show you guys and gals what a beta tape looked like. It's been a long time since anybody's probably seen one. So I got that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I got it. Okay, so that's all of that. And then today, I went to a thrift store, and I found some CDs, and I found an Ultra Mega LP find that I'm going to show you last. But I'm going to go back tomorrow because I think there's some more there, and I want to go ahead and grab those. So I'm going to try to get there by 10 o'clock. So anyway, this one here, I saw this one these were all $1. John Coltrane. This is the Blue Train. He does Blue Train, Moment's Notice, Locomotion, I'm Old Fashioned, and Lazy Bird. I'm just now starting to get into Lee Morgan and John Coltrane. Lee Morgan is on trumpet on this, and then Coltrane is on tenor sax, and Paul Chambers and Philly Joe Jones, Kenny Drew, Curtis Fuller. There's a lot of people in the VC that know a whole lot more about John Coltrane than I do. But I seen it there, and it was on Blue Note. And I have a couple other Blue Note CDs of people. So I picked it up, and it was really clean. So I said, well, I'm gonna spring for $1. I'm liking some Coltrane. And then I saw this there, Led Zeppelin. And this is from their box set. They only had the one CD there. But I looked it up, and it's got A Whole Lot of Love, Heartbreaker. This is the first disc out of the CD. So most of these songs are all from like the first and their second album, and maybe third album. So that's pretty cool. So maybe I'll find the other ones, and maybe I'll find the box it goes in. So we'll see. This one here was actually on my list of ones that I wanted. And this is Peter Gabriel, The Passion of the Christ. And the music from The Last Temptation of Christ. A film by Martin Scorsese. And this was on my list of Peter Gabriel ones that I didn't have. I've never owned this. There's a couple other soundtracks that he did too that I don't have, that I want to find. Birdie was one of them. And there's another one, The Long Walk or something like that. I got to find those. Okay, here comes the albums I found today at the Goodwill. And these were all $1 at the Goodwill. This is White Nights. And I remember back in the day, back in the 80s, Phil Collins' song is on here, and Marilyn Martin, Separate Lives. And Robert Plant, there's a Robert Plant song on here. It's called Far Post. There's Roberta Flack on here. Nile Rodgers, David Foster. There's a Lou Reed song on here. My Love is a Chemical. Chaka Khan. And yeah, so I picked this up with the Phil Collins. And, I like Genesis and Phil Collins and Gabriel and Hackett and everybody. So I'll put this with my Phil Collins records. And this guy here, Richard Hyman. I have quite a few of his records. This is a double record that's in one sleeve. And this is the Organ Antics of Dick Hyman, Richard Hyman. And there's a whole bunch of different it's called Command 2 record sets. The Soft Machine has one. I haven't found that one yet. And Doc Severinsen and Berlin, Cole Porter, Tony Motola. And then this guy here, Mr. Hyman, he's got quite a few albums that I've found so far on this Command label. So I'll have to give that a listen, as well as the other ones. And then here's the last two. These are the bangers here. This was $1. The Devil's Angels. This looks like it was a war movie. John Cassavetes is in this. Beverly Adams. I don't know who Beverly Adams is, but I know who John Cassavetes is. This was a soundtrack for Roger Corman's Devil's Angels. And I looked it up, and it's worth quite a bit of money. But I bought it because it just looked really cool, and it was only $1. So that was coming home with me. And I'll put this with my other soundtrack albums. I have quite a few of those. And this is what I found here today. This was $5. Revolver. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I didn't have a copy of Revolver. And it's on the green Capitol. And it's flawless. I listened to it. It looks like it had never been played. But it's old. It's a real old one. And it said that on eBay or on Discogs that it was like $100 or something. But this is like close to being an OG, I suppose. Anybody out there knows more than me about the Beatles, chime in and let me know. But I looked up in the Dead Wax and checked it out. And it's definitely worth $5. Okay, so that was quite the haul. I've been having really good luck lately with buying stuff off of eBay. I've been finding some really good gems. I'm going to share them with you once I get them in. And then going out picking ever since my birthday on last week. I've been going out. I've been finding great stuff. So I don't know if people are just getting rid of stuff at the end of the year, taking them to the Goodwills and Habitats and all those places. But if you're out there looking around, right now there's a lot of stuff seems to be out in the bins. People are just getting rid of stuff for the new year and doing a little spring cleaning, I think, on their media. So yeah, so we'll get out there and take a look. So my nephew, who's been on my show before, he's like my wingman. I want to get him back on and do another show. We might do a live thing. He told me, he says, Big Chief, or everybody knows me as Vinyl Picker. He wants me to do my top 10 live albums of all time. So, I mean, I've known him. He's 53, and I've known him the whole 53 years that he's been on this earth. But he knows what probably my top 10 are. I guess he just wants me to do the show so you can watch it and see the records. So, and I guess some of these are on CD, and some of them are on vinyl. Some of them I don't have on vinyl. Hope to get them on vinyl at some point. So let me make this a couple seconds here. I'll make some room. Put this stuff to the side. And then I can show you what I'm going to show you here. So here's my top 10. We'll start at number 10. And we'll go all the way up to number 1. So at number 10, we're going to talk about Mr. Steve Hackett. Now, Steve Hackett has done, in the last 10, 12 years, he's done a lot of live shows. And I've seen him twice so far. I saw him in Ponte Vedra, Florida, and I saw him in Orlando. And so the first one he came out with was live at the Royal Albert Hall. Now he has got his band with him. He redoes all the old Genesis songs, and he does a lot of his own solo stuff. So you got Steve on guitar, Roger King, his keyboardist for a long time, Nad Sylvan, who's his vocalist, Gary O'Toole, he was his drummer, but then Gary O'Toole left the band, and then we had Lee Pomeroy on bass, who also played with ARW, and Rob Townsend on All Things Blown, saxophone, woodwinds, and percussion. So this was the first one he did. This is going to be at number 10, but it's tied. There's 4 albums tied for number 10. Because I love all of these, and like I say, I've seen him twice on the show, and I saw him once before that live too, back in the 80s. But so that was the first one. Then we have live at the Hammersmith, doing "Selling England by the Pound" and "Spectral Mornings," and then he does all kinds of Genesis songs: "Firth of Fifth," "More Fool Me," "Battle of an Epping Forest," "After the Ordeal," "A Cinnamon Show," "Dance on a Volcano," "Los Endos," "I Know What I Like," "Dancing with the Moonlit Night," on and on and on. And they do a fantastic job. They sound better now live. He sounds better with his band live. Excuse me. He sounds better live now than he did with Genesis back in the day, just about. They sound incredible. Genesis Revisited Band and Orchestra live at the Royal Festival Hall. This one here's got Dance on a Volcano, Firth of Fifth. It does The Steps, his own song, Blood on the Rooftops, In the Quiet Earth. Does a complete version of Supper's Ready. It's just a lot different than it is without Collins and Peter Gabriel. Those were great too, but these sound so good. Now the one I'm missing out of this 4 of them actually, and I'm missing one that I don't have, and I got it on my wish list, is this show from Birmingham. Okay, and the next one, number 9, coming in at number 9, is going to be Coma Divine, and that's Porcupine Tree. And this takes you everything up to the Signify tour. That's when I got into Porcupine Tree back in the 90s. But there's a lot of the songs that are on this CD. I'll show you the CD. This is called Coma Divine. And a lot of songs around here are their earlier stuff. Sky Moves Sideways, Radioactive Toy, Up the Downstairs. And then, of course, it has songs from Signify. And you can tell I love Porcupine Tree because I don't have one copy. I got 3 copies of Coma Divine. So, yeah, you can tell I like that live album. And that's at number 9. Number 8 is something I got here currently, and I've been getting into the band and Bob Dylan. I really like this one here, and I like The Last Waltz. And I pretty much like them. Let me get this. I pretty much like them about the same. These are both just fantastic records. I love the band, and I've been getting back into Bob Dylan, and so I'm really going to enjoy listening to this. And after I get done with these 10, I probably could do another 10 live albums, but these are 10 that I really love, and at some point, maybe I'll add another 5 or do another 10. But here you go. Before the Flood, Bob Dylan and the band recorded live in concert. I'm good, looking forward to playing that. I might play some of that tonight. Coming in at number 7, Shadows and Light, Joni Mitchell. And Jocko's on here, and Pat Metheny, and Michael Brecker. This is just a fantastic live album. And I had the VHS at one point. I don't think I have the DVD of this. I can't play the VHS anymore. But you can find this on YouTube. And that just sounds incredible. Joni's really at her peak. At her, the part of Joni that I really like is her jazz part. That after Hajira. And so, yeah, this is for me, it's really good. Some people really like her really old folky stuff, and some people like her later stuff. This is kind of like midway through her career. She had 2 or 3 albums that were jazzy. She did an album, a Mingus album, Don Juan's Reckless Daughter, Hissing of Summer Lawn, and Hajira. Those 4 albums, I would say, would be her jazz period. Those are my favorite albums. And I love Blue too, though. And Court and Spark is good too. And For the Roses. They're all good. They're all good. So that one there is coming in at number 7. Number 6. I've seen this man. I've seen him live at least twice. No, I think 3 times. Peter Gabriel. And this is from the Athens show in '87. But this is the same show that I saw, and I believe it was in New Haven, Connecticut. And I don't believe I had anybody with me that night. I went there by myself, and I went over there, and I seen, it was just, oh man, fantastic. And then he does Lay Your Hands on Me, and falls back into the crowd, and then they pass him around in the crowd. But he passed just to the right of me, and to my left actually. This is a half-speed remaster of Peter Gabriel, live in Athens. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is the box here of Zeppelin. Celebration Day. It's when they got back together and reformed. And they did. They played. This was in 2007. This is incredible. and they haven't missed a beat. And all these songs, Good Times, Bad Times, Ramble On, Black Dog, In My Time of Dying, For Your Life, Trampled Underfoot, Nobody's Fault But Mine, No Quarter, Since You've Been Loving You, Dazed and Confused, Stairway to Heaven, the song remains the same, Misty Mountain Hop, Cashmere, Whole Lot of Love, and Rock and Roll. They just go through it, and it's really, really good. And Bonzo's son plays on the drums. Okay, number 4 is an album that I've been listening to for a really long time. I remember having it on 8-track, playing it in my first car I owned. Emerson, Lake and Palmer live. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. My favorite band in high school, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Incredible. Seen them live on the Works tour in California, and they were just incredible. And then when they played, they got to the part where they do Pirates. They had the cannons on the other side of the stage, and they blew out. Yeah. People of a certain age will definitely recognize these records. Coming in at number 3, a big time favorite, Yes Songs. Yes Song encompasses all their early stuff up through Close to the Edge, and also Tales from Topographic Oceans. And it has a lot of their early stuff. Starts off with that familiar Firebird Suite. I've seen Yes probably more times than any other band I've ever seen. I think I've seen them like 8 times, 7 or 8 times. Going all the way back to the first time I saw them was the Tormato tour. Okay, coming in at number 2. Number 2. This show here I saw it twice. I saw it at Madison Square Garden, and I also seen it in Philly the next night. I saw it 2 nights in 1977. Incredible show. I can still remember seeing Phil on stage with those lights coming down, and then Phil up in the back when he do Supper's Ready. And yeah, this is just incredible. This is number 2. Seconds Out, Genesis. And everybody knows what, if they know me pretty well, they're probably going to definitely know what number 1 is for me. Number 2 is my nephew's favorite. But number 1 for me would be, you got it, it's Pink Floyd Pulse. I had to change the battery out not too long ago. Here's the CD set that I've had for a long, long time. And then it has in here all of the pictures of the band and the CDs, and everything is in there. And they're coming out with I guess they're going to reissue it again, from what I hear. It's going to have the blinking light. They're redoing the CD, or they're redoing the DVD, the Blu-ray set. They're redoing that. And the Blu-ray set's going to have the blinking light, just like the CD box does. And then here's the big mama here. Here's the Pulse box set with the book and all the records and everything that's in there. And this is really cool. So this would be my number 1 live album of all time. And wow, I'm almost at 30 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for sticking in there with me. I know this was a long one, but I wanted to get those top 10 live albums out. My nephew was asking for me to do it, and I had a lot of pickups in the last 4 or 5 days. I want to wish everybody a big time Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. And everybody be safe out there. Right now it's winter time and there's snow on the ground and black ice, and a lot of people live up north. They know how to handle all that stuff. But me being from Florida for a long, long time and then moving north, I got to be careful. So everybody be careful out there. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll be talking to you this weekend, most likely Saturday night. If I can find some more pickups, I'm going to have to go out and look through the countryside and go through bins and behind cabinets and in drawers and everything else to find you all the finest things I can find for you. So y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.